Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta.
And thank you so much for joining us today. And as we always like to do, we like to set the tones, our version of woosah. And for today, in the spirit of kindness, we want you to always listen to one another, be conscious of your words, and be compassionate to one another. And just to give you a little fun, happy Creamsicle Day.
Yeah, today is National Creamsicle Day. Don't know if I'm going to be eating any creamsicles.
I won't, but when I was a kid, I loved orange creamsicles.
Oh, orange creamsicle or the strawberry one.
Yes.
I loved those.
Yep. Memories.
Yep. All right. Just want to remind you, please hit the thumb icon if you like our video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell notification. You know the usual thing we always say.
Yes.
All right. And then the tea we're drinking today is...
It is by Good Earth, sweet and spicy. I want you to just imagine this beautiful cinnamon smell wafting through the streets of Cupertino.
It's our favorite. We've drank it many, many times.
Yes, we love this tea, and you used to be able to go to a restaurant called Good Earth, and this is called Good Earth, and buy this tea. And I would always order something else, and I go, can I change my order? Can I have some tea? So the ingredients are organic rooibos, organic cinnamon, organic chicory root, organic rose hip, I'm not going to say organic because they all are, lemongrass, natural flavors, chamomile, peppermint, orange oil, ginger root, honey bush, and orange peel. So you just imagine all that beautiful citrus.
The cinnamon smell is just
amazing.
Wafting, and we love it. And what we also love is that on the tea bags, there's always a proverb.
Yes.
What does mine say? Mine says, perpetual optimism is a force multiplier. And it's by Colin Powell.
How cool.
So there you go. Perpetual optimism is a force multiplier.
And mine is Some People Feel the Rain, Others Just Get Wet by Bob Marley. I love that. I love that.
Love it. It always feels so homely. And guess what? If you live in the Bay Area, there's a restaurant called Hobie's in Sunnyvale, and they also serve the same tea.
Yes.
But I don't know if it's the same recipe, but it just tastes exactly the same. And it might be very sweet at the beginning because when it's hot, but they don't add any sugar, they say. They add no added sugars. But once it cools down, it's not as that sharp sweetness.
Sweet taste, yeah.
So it's not the sweetness you're tasting, it's the sharp, bright flavors you're tasting.
Yes.
So go there, Hobie's in Sunnyvale, if you'd like to try what we are drinking. These sweet and spicy is very similar.
And FYI, if you order the tea and you're getting ready to leave, they'll give you a to-go tea to take with you.
I forgot about that.
We just learned this out of all the years I've been going there. The server says, would you like a tea to go? And I was like, yes, please.
Very good.
Cheers.
Cheers. Very good.
I love that. All right, let's get this party started. So we always begin by saying our thoughts and prayers go out to the universe. We have got to learn to love and live together as a single entity unit. I keep thinking to myself, we're so busy fighting amongst ourselves. If aliens were on the planet, they are laughing, thinking, all we have to do is let them just take each other out and then we'll take the planet. So we have to learn how to coexist and how to be good citizens and to love and respect each other.
Yes, we do.
Don't have to like each other, but we have to learn how to love and respect. So, our central focus for this, whole year is about children, children's educations, children's well-being, how to have little beings that grow up into responsible, productive, loving, kind adults. That's important. So today we're going to talk about an article that came out in Time magazine, and they found what is the best thing to help our children grow and be happy. We know how to keep them healthy. We're learning different ways of how to keep them safe. How to have healthy and happy children.
Happy is the main thing.
Happy. So one of the things that I found that was interesting is, like, for healthy, just so you know, we're covering it all. There is a place called Burlington, and it is a New England city. And in Burlington, they offer great schools, excellent pediatric care, loads of culture, and limitless options for healthy outdoor fun all year long. So this, they believe, will more than likely turn happier kids into successful, accomplished adults.
Very nice.
So, looking at this from a scientific perspective, number one, get happy yourself as a parent. Your children are watching you. Even babies, you watch babies, and if a parent does something, they have a gesture and they do it all the time, you watch that baby will start doing it. So reflect happiness out to your children. Let them know, like, if you're the mom or dad and you're having a bad day, let them know this is a bad day. This is not about you. Daddy or mommy's just having a rough day. However, I love you. Everything's going to be okay. Keep it positive. Number two, teach your children to build relationships. Try not to let your children isolate and be alone with their devices. Get them to spend time building relationship. Simply start by encouraging your kids to perform small acts of kindness. Like my son, he's a little boy. I would tell him, run ahead and open the door. And he would open the door like, for a lady or something, and they'd look at him like, really? And then, he would go, I got it. And they go, thank you, young man. That is just, number one, he didn't know how the lady would react. When she said, thank you, young man, it just made his day. And after that, I didn't really have to tell him. He would just run and open the door. So, this is something that will help with just keeping your child grounded. And if you can get them to build essential skills, it'll make them better people. And research has shown over the long haul, it will make them happier. So if they feel that you value them, that will make them happier. Number three, expect effort, not perfection. This is key. Expect your children to do things, not necessarily perfection. Do not have them seeking perfection. Have them working toward a goal, whatever that goal might be. But don't make it into a whipping stick. That's what I call it. Don't make it a negative option. Keep it as simple and as positive as possible. Emphasize achievements, because that'll give your kids a high level. If you emphasize achievements over just doing what is inert to humans, you will make it a very, very stressful situation for your child. And that's something you don't want to do. You want to keep it easy breezy, because research has shown that over the long haul, if you just keep it simple, the child will be able to reproduce and be more responsive if you just keep it simple. And don't make it, if your child is a B student, let's start out in the middle, a B student, and you want them to be an A student, don't make it essential that if you're not an A student, then you're not a good child. Just do baby steps. You're a B student. Hey, you are way above average. You're way above the others. Mommy and daddy are so proud of you for your accomplishments. Just kind of take it like that. Let's see. Number 4, teach optimism. Always try and share with your kids how to think optimistic. For me, I used to always say, oh, can you give me some more water? My glass is half full. I don't say half empty. See the difference? Accentuate optimism, accentuate the positive. You will find if you, the parent, is positive, then the child will be more open and receptive to the positive. And perspective is the key to keeping your child's whole world around them optimistic, because it's all about what they see and perceive. That's important. Number 5, let's see, teach emotional intelligence. And this is just to keep your child attuned to their emotions and getting them to communicate when they're struggling, like if they're happy, if they're sad, if they're confused, if they don't understand something. Try not to let them internalize, because that's how things get out of whack. If you get your child to talk to you and say, you know, I've tried. I can't get my friend Harry to talk to me. I know something's wrong. And then you just tell them, when you are communicating with Harry, these are some of the tools that you can use to get Harry to open up. And you say to Harry, I understand you might not want to talk to me now. I just want you to know that I'm here for you. Make sure that your child knows how to communicate when something is off kilter. Because a lot of times we have situations where children are going through very stressful times, yet they don't feel like they can communicate, that they can talk to someone. So this one, emotional intelligence, is very, very important. So now Rosetta's going to share some too.
Yes, I am. And number 6 on the list, backed by science, is form happiness habits.
Yes.
And I think that's really important. We need to try and incorporate one happiness habit at a time so that the kids don't get overwhelmed.
Yes.
And do it in a way that doesn't seem like a chore. Make it simple. And they say also remove stimulus that's going to affect the happiness.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of things around, so especially at social media, that can make us unhappy. So what we want to do is incorporate happiness, small little things. It doesn't have to be big things, and just try and incorporate one and let it go on before you incorporate another one.
Yes.
Let the first habit just become natural,
Yeah.
second nature. That's what I say. Become second nature in your child's everyday living.
Yeah.
And then you can build on the next one, but make it conscious. Make a conscious decision to do that.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Especially with girls,
Yes.
because we are multitaskers. So really important with girls, get them to kind of slow down, because guys are one and done, whereas a girl, she'll be, I can do this, and while this is going on, I can do this, and while this I can. And
well, girls, women in particular, females,
yes.
they're actually born.
We're wired
with being able to multitask.
Yes.
Whereas men, they just do one task at a time. If you open up inside a brain, men have boxes in their brain.
Yes.
So it's one task at a time, but women, we overlap in many areas in our
Yes.
brain, so we can do multitasking very well.
Yes.
And remember, it's not about perfection. As long as your kids are trying, give them A for effort.
Absolutely.
Okay, then we have number 7, which is teach self-discipline. And I love this one, because if you can teach them how to be more, instead of trying to follow what the norm is, teach them, how can my child be disciplined enough? It's like if you have a group of kids and they say, okay, you want to try some cigarettes or alcohol
or vaping, which is really concerning right now.
Vaping is huge, because it's not only is it cheap, but it's easy.
Yes.
And very easy to hide from parents and adults. So
It's
you
in
can
a
do it
UPS stick.
USB stick.
stick. I mean, it's just, you have no idea. If you could be in your child's room and you look around and you go, okay, everything's safe, and then someone who knows can come behind you and show you all of the danger spots.
Yes, and we've actually talked about this many years ago, about how dangerous it is, and all the stories that we've seen on the news of kids dying from vaping or getting seriously ill and having to be rushed to the hospital.
Yes.
And science says that self-discipline is more predictive of future success than intelligence. Kids who resisted temptation went on to much better lives years later and were happier. And I believe that.
Yes.
Because if your child knows how to be self-disciplined, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's not an easy task.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have number 8, which is more playtime.
Yes.
This one is something that has already been long forgotten. Nowadays, kids with their cell phones, their touch screens, their device, wireless technology, they're at home the whole time, stuck in their room on their cell phones, texting, tweeting, trying to do TikTok videos, trying to be like the influencers and following them. But they say playtime helps kids grow and learn. And I really believe that.
I do too.
We need that. We really do. And research believes that dramatic drop in understructured playtime is part responsible for slowing kids' cognitive and emotional development. I do believe that as well. Because if they're not playing, what are they doing? They're on their wireless technology. Yeah. And that's affecting their cognitive. Why a lot of kids have ADHD, ADD, autism. Why do you think they have these outbursts in their behaviors and stuff? And then they said, this is let me see. In addition to helping kids learn to self-regulate, child-led unstructured play with or without adults promotes intellectual, physical, social, and emotional well-being. And unstructured play helps children learn how to work in groups to share, negotiate, resolve conflicts, regulate their emotions and behavior, and speak up for themselves. Yes. So all of these things are happening when you have unstructured play. So I love that. Yes. Number 9, rig the environment for happiness. Yes. So in a way, sometimes you can't really control your child's 100% of your child's environment, especially when they're at school. Right. But you can when they're at home, which is huge. And sociologists show that happier people tend to watch less TV than unhappy people. Yeah. But I'm not really sure if that's really true. Yeah. Maybe it could be because there's so much violence and different things happening. But it all depends on what they're watching. Exactly. What the parents
is allowing them to watch.
Allowing them, yes.
Yes, I agree.
Yes. So we don't know if TV makes people unhappy. This is what the researchers are saying. Or if already unhappy people watch more TV. Yeah. So we're not sure about that. But we do know there are lots of activities that will help kids develop into happy, well-adjusted individuals. So that's very important to make sure that the environment they're in, which starts off at home, is a happy environment. And that leads, if you are teaching your child that or creating that environment, then that leads into their school. Because a lot of times what happens, I believe, is that parents choose the schools related to what kind of environment the schools are.
Yes, and what, like say, this school specializes in soccer. They'll put the child in that school because the child loves soccer. It gives them an opportunity to play. So, that kind of ties in sometimes.
Yes, it does. Exactly. And then finally, number 10 is eating dinner together. Yes. So important. It says studies show that kids who eat dinner with their families on a regular basis are more emotionally stable and less likely to abuse drugs and alcohol. They get better grades, they have fewer depressive symptoms, and are less likely to become obese or have any eating disorders. Family dinners trump, and this is quite important, family dinners trump reading to your kids.
Wow.
Yes, I did not.
Yeah.
Yes. In terms of preparing them for the future.
Yes.
And they also said in this article, the most important work you will ever do as a parent will be within the walls of your own home.
Yes.
I say amen to that.
Amen to that. I completely agree. Life gets busy, because it's like the children, some parents regulate their days to within an inch of their life. They get out of school, they have to come home, change clothes, go to, Tai Chi class, leave there, come home, change clothes, go to basketball practice. Then they come home, eat dinner, do homework, and then they're supposed to just pass out. And you're just like fleeting, passing each other. You have to not do that if you can. Try and spend more time. Ask your child, how was your day? What did you do? What did you learn?
Yes, exactly. And how are you feeling? It's okay for your child to have feelings.
Yes.
And if they're bad ones, why are they having these bad feelings?
Yes.
Talk to them about it. Have conversations, because I think it's so important. And you know what? After I read this article, I feel like I need to do more of that, asking my son for his feelings and stuff.
Yeah.
So I actually went into my son's room when he was doing his homework. I said, how are you feeling? How are you doing?
Right.
And I actually asked him these kind of questions, because I think that when they know that the parents care, they're more likely to feel okay to open up and not feel like I can't express my feelings for what my parents might say, or the responses, or I feel awkward. But if the parent opens up, then love that.
Yeah. So these are just 10 things that we're sharing with you that will produce happy children, which will inert happy adults. So we're going to continue to have this conversation throughout the year. If you know of things that parents can do to help their children be happy, healthy, beings, please comment below and share with us so we can share with everyone
And what have
else.
you done with your child? Your child may be grown and out of the house, but what things did you do in the past that has helped to raise a happy individual in society? Very,
very important.
Yep.
And, sort of like, very quickly on the same lines, Kamala Harris, as part of her running for president of the United States, there's a Project 2025, and they want to shut down the Department of Education. As parents, we don't want them to do that, because we don't want one state to get more money, more funding, more education, more teachers than another state, so that one state has brilliant children and the other state does not. We don't want that. We want equality across the board. And here in California, our Governor Newsom, is recommending and also cracking down on cell phones in schools. He thinks that by reducing phone use in classes, that will lead to improved concentration, better academic outcomes, and enhanced social interaction. Because if you don't have a device in your hand and someone's talking to you, you are going to look at them and listen to them and communicate.
Yes.
So I agree. I
love that. My son, when he was in high school, every classroom, as soon as they came in, they had these pouches hung up on the wall, like shoe
the little
shoe rack where you put little compartments for your shoes.
Yes.
Well, they did it for the phones, and as soon as they got in, they had to put it in there.
Yes.
And that was by default. Everyone knew that that's what they had to do.
Yeah.
And I think that it's great that he's doing that, because they needed to have done that long time ago. Because there's another school district I remember a few months ago that I was talking about that was going to start incorporating that, and kids were so much resistance to it, so much. And if they had done it earlier, it wouldn't be such a big thing.
No, it would just be a part of coming to school.
Right.
And that's what they have to start now with the preschool, kindergartens, get them set that, yes, mommy and daddy gives you a phone, so if an emergency happened, they can reach you. However, your phone goes inside the little cubby.
That's the best thing that we can do for our kids.
Excellent. All right. That's all of today for our kids. Now we're going to talk about one of our most interesting topics, the Bachelorette.
Yay! The Bachelorette topic comes.
Yes.
And do you want to give your take on it?
I did mine first the last time. Let's let you go.
Okay.
Yes.
So this episode was full of emotions, and it's the episode before hometowns. So you know the tension and the emotions going on there.
Yes.
So we have Jeremy, Sam, Devon, Grant, Marcus, Jonathan, and Spencer, 7 of them.
Right.
And we know there's only 4 moving on to hometowns.
Yes.
And in the past, we've talked about Sam.
Yes.
And I have not liked Sam.
No. He's been a little bit too strange, controlling.
Yes. And I really like Devon, and I like Marcus and Grant.
Yes.
Jonathan has been okay. I didn't really know too much about Jeremy or Spencer.
I didn't either.
They really didn't have much of a connection with Jen, but they're the final 7.
Yeah.
So we have Marcus, who goes on another one-on-one date, which is very unusual because neither Jeremy nor has Spencer gone on a... No. Spencer hasn't. Someone else hasn't. Has Jeremy?
No.
So neither one of them gone on a date. And Marcus is date 2.
But she also had done a second date with Devon.
So, yes.
Or it was like a group date, but Devon turned it into a one-on-one.
Well, he turned it with on the farm. He turned it into the one-on-one. But so Marcus gets gifted a jacket, a green jacket.
Yes.
And what do? They go, this was really weird. They went, so now they're not in Australia anymore.
No, they're back in Seattle.
They're back in U.S. Seattle.
Yeah.
And they are doing a little thing like the Wicked, what is it?
Well, it's the Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz.
Follow the Yellow Brick Road.
Follow the Yellow Brick
Follow the Yellow Brick Road.
And 2 of the past Bachelorettes, they come on. Daisy and Kelsey come on.
Right.
And they set up a little Follow the Yellow Brick Road game where they walk the Yellow Brick Road, and then there's little games where they have to choose out of the 2 boxes.
Yes.
The
like
first
sweet
one,
and
sweet
spicy.
or spicy. And they both choose spicy.
I would have chose sweet.
I would have, well...
You would have got spicy.
I would have done spicy.
Yes.
And the spicy was a plate full of chili peppers. And they had to bite into it.
Which they did.
Where they did that. And then there were some other things that... along the Yellow Brick Road was different things they had to do. One of them was screaming.
Yes.
Very loudly.
Yes.
But the very last one I really liked because it was more emotional and made each of them more vulnerable.
Yes.
There were several balloons and they had to pop the balloons, and it was and what they revealed was something very close to home.
Yeah, like pictures of family members.
Yep, exactly. So I really liked that. And the group date, I mustn't forget, there was a group date, and the group date was inside a radio station. And what they had them do in the group date was they were asking questions to each of the final 7 men to figure out, actually the final 6 men, to figure out how Jen could understand or get a better understanding of why they were there and what is it about
What's
Jen?
the connection?
What's the connection? Why is it that they like Jen, or what is it about Jen that makes them stay, and the connection?
5 because the one that got the date and Marcus were at the...
Oh,
so
exactly.
It was 5, yeah.
Exactly. So it's 5 of them, and I didn't really understand, I guess, why they sectioned out or they honed in on Sam.
His answers.
Well, they made all the other guys leave the studio and go to another room, and then they said we want a better understanding because his answers were not really, no one really understood his answers.
Right.
And what was it that why he was there, because they didn't understand the connection between him and Jen.
Mm-hmm.
So they had him stay in the studio and they dug in and asked deeper questions. But I just thought that he was just putting his mouth into it, his foot in his mouth, and saying all these things that didn't even relate to why he loved her. I didn't really understand that part, which was, I just thought, it's time for you to go home, Sam. The questions they're asking, you're not answering the right questions to make Jen feel that this is why you're there for her.
Right.
And one thing I have to point out that he said, at the beginning, he said, I thought it was going to be another woman. Remember, he said that.
Another two women.
Two women.
That's right. He goes, I didn't know it was going to be you. I thought it was,
But I didn't understand because I thought, don't they know who the Bachelorette is going to be before they actually get there?
If you pay attention, you do.
Yeah. So for him to say he didn't even think it was Jen, it just seemed like it could have been anyone. It could have been Mary Jane, and he would have tried to fall in love with Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Because he was saying, I really wanted to have that love and find my woman, but he didn't really care who it was. Whereas the other men were there specifically for Jen.
Yes.
So this whole thing wasn't that great, and it was just really, really odd that he was saying all these answers. But in the end, Jen kept questioning him, and she said something about how she's had men in her past that have been like Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And she's tried so hard to love them, but then they haven't really reciprocated, and these men are in her past for a reason.
Right.
So she told Sam, that's the reason why I cannot have you in my life, because you remind me too much of my exes. So there he gets sent home, and I was so happy because finally she realized.
Well, no, he went back home, remember? Because at the very beginning, it shows her going through the house looking for him.
Oh, he went back to the house.
Yeah, they all went back home.
Right, that's right. They all went back to the bachelor house.
Because remember, she hugs him, and then they just all leave.
Yes. So after that, she goes back and she talks to him and blah blah blah, and then she says all that, and then she sends him home, which is great. And then we're going to talk about the rose ceremony, which is very, very tense. I was so tense and wondering who's going to get the roses. So the people that get the roses are Jonathan, Devin, who else? Spencer, Marcus.
That's it.
Oh yeah, those are the four. And the two that get sent, the ones that get sent home are Jeremy and Grant. And Grant, that's sad because Grant actually told her that he's already chosen her.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a lot of emotions there. But my overall feeling for this week is that I'm so glad because the people that are going to the hometowns are the ones that I wanted to go to the hometowns. If Sam had been left there, I would have been very, very upset.
I agree.
And still, I believe Devon is my number one. So let's move it on to you and see what.
Well, you covered a lot of things, so I'm going to just try and hit some highlights. I loved how the Charity was the one that gave them the wand to pop the balloon, so she was there. She was there when Jesse was telling them about how they were going to, sort of like in the theme of Wicked, kind of go through the process. The emotional, when they started popping the balloons, that was when it was very, very emotional. I am still a Marcus girl. I love the fact how he opened his heart and he shared with her that him and his sister had been put in the foster care system. And anyone who knows about that process knows it's very, very hard to live. And that is why, because we always wanted to know, why is he so sheltered? That's why he's sheltered.
And he doesn't open up. He's not as vulnerable as the other men are.
And now we know why.
Yeah.
Because when you go through that foster care system where people, like he would say, they would like take them home and they would think they have a mommy and daddy, and then they would just boot them out. Because some people it's just for the money. It's how they make money, and it's not for the love of the child.
And it's very sad because they have to protect their heart, their emotions, because they don't know if that's going to be their forever home.
Yeah. So you have to kind of hold back. That's why he does what he does. But he was so vulnerable and so emotional with her. I love their date. And then it's really funny because the joke is if Marcus is on the date, Jen's going to do something crazy like going up in a hot air balloon at the end.
Oh, yes, that's right. They went
up in the hot air balloon, and that was really good. the other thing is on the way to the hot air balloon, Tristan, the first Bachelorette, was there from season 1. And that was really, really cool because she talked to them about being open to one another and listening to one another. And then they got on the balloon, and that was really cool. The group date was a radio station called Jewel and Bender, and it was called Love on Air Seattle. The thing that was interesting is Jason and Molly from, I think they were season 13, were there. Because remember, Jason proposed to another girl, and then he went home and thought, I love Molly. So he told that girl, you're not the one, went back and got Molly, didn't know if Molly would even talk to him. And they've been married, I think now for about 5-6 years. So they were in the studio. They're watching the interaction with, Sam. She would ask Sam a question, and she said to him, I know we have a physical connection. They could hardly keep their hands off of each other, but how do you know I'm the one? And he couldn't answer. He kept hee-hawing and hoo-hooing all around. So the other bachelors are out looking at him, and they're like, oh my God, this is a disaster.
Well, he kept saying, I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you.
And she said, how? How do you know? Why?
Everything.
What about
everything
me?
Reverted back to him.
Everything.
Nothing was about how he felt about her and what she brought to him.
Yes. So she, they end the date and they go home, and that's when she went on the date with Spencer. I had never even seen her talk to Spencer, but I mean, they joked around, jokey. And I was really shocked when Spencer got a rose, but she really seemed to like their communication, their whole style. So then they get ready for the rose. She didn't give anybody a rose on the group date.
On the group date, no.
She's like, I have a lot to think about. So what she did is she talked to the guys. She talked to Grant. He told her that he was ready and committed to her. He was falling for her. Devin told her that it's very seldom that he's ever taken a girl home to meet his mom. He wants her to meet his mom because he feels like she is the one for him. And then she repeated to him, I feel the same way about you, which was early. So I'm like, wait a minute, what about Marcus? But she did say that to Devin. So when she picked Jonathan and Spencer, those were the two that I wasn't expecting them, because most of her communications and relationships, like Grant was one of the persons.
I wanted him to be one of them.
And I thought it would be Grant and somebody else. Yes. However, she had given the last guy on the one-on-one a rose, so I knew it wasn't going to be, because that only meant 2 people got picked, and Marcus was there, and I'm like, okay, this is not going to end well. So she decided on the 4 that she wants. She's still confused about, like, how is she going to, pick the final one, because she has started to build relationships with all these guys. They show a little preview of what's coming up. The families are going to not going to just say, oh, we love you. They are really, really going to talk to her about these young men and how they love them, especially Marcus's sister. They show a little cameo of them talking. So I'm excited to see how that's going to turn out.
Yes, me too. Very excited.
That was really good. And just so you know, Joan is recording the Golden Bachelorette, and that's going to air on Wednesday, September 18th. So mark your calendars. She looks really pretty in gold, and there's a scene of her and her family. And then they show the men. These are some good-looking men. I can't wait to.
Well, Joan, she just comes off as very classy and sophisticated.
Very elegant.
So she needs men that are gonna,
yeah,
be on her level.
And these men look like, well, so far, just from looks, there's some gorgeous-looking men.
Okay, I haven't seen the lineup of men.
Yeah, they just did a little, quick cameo. It's part of a commercial that they just started running. And you'll get a chance to see it.
Cannot believe it. September is around the corner.
I can't either.
Crazy. Kids already back to school.
I know. And we just finished on Sunday the Olympics. Did you watch the Olympics? Did you get a chance to see your favorite or were you like a lot of people looking for it? Because if you weren't streaming, you might not have seen all of the different activities. I got to see like Sakara Richards and the 4x4 women. She's running. She looks at the person next to her, turns her head around, and just kicks in another gear. It was amazing.
Yes,
Jamaica was really fast. However, she was faster. The men were not quite so well. So Noah was in the 400, and he didn't look right. I was like, what's wrong with him? Because he is one of the sprinters at the end.
Yes, he is.
And he did not sprint. He got a bronze medal, but then he goes and he falls on the ground. And I told my husband, I go, this does not look good. So they help him up, and you know, he's trying to get some water in him. He had COVID. So that meant he was done. He couldn't run anymore. But, you know, even sick, he got a bronze medal. Then they show the guys. So they had to replace Noah. They should have stopped at that, but they replaced 2 of the runners. Then they moved the orders. They were so bad, they were disqualified. The United States, who was slated to win gold or silver, was disqualified. That was just, I was like, oh my God. Then we had the men and the women basketball, USA versus France, both occasions. We won the gold. Oh my God. Oh my God. Curry was on fire because it is in the past they played like college students. And I think the Olympics should do a mix, 3 college and 3 pro. I don't think it should be all pro because those games were so stressful. The girls only won by 1 point. It was so stressful. But these people are pros. There's a shot of Curry shooting a 3-point over the hand of the 7'2" Frenchman. I mean, it was amazing, but I think it would have been as exciting if we could have had some regular walk the street people.
That might be good. Some college.
Yes, college.
3 college and 3 pro. I wonder how that would work, but I think that's going to be good.
So that was good. Let's see, what else? Gabby Thompson. So Gabby Thomas, she was in the the 2020 Olympics, and everything was locked down, and she only won a bronze medal. Girlfriend came back and she represented this time. She won 3 gold medals. Every time she hit the ground, she was just smoking people. It was just lovely to see, and I'm so excited about 2028 because it's going to be on American soil.
I know, in LA, and however, I have to say that I was a bit disappointed with the closing ceremonies. I just thought it wasn't good. Usually what happens is they do some stuff in the stadium, they do some performance and blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, all the athletes come out.
In,
This time they barely did anything, and the athletes started coming in.
Well, that's how they set it up. They just to walk in. It wasn't like they used to announce them.
Right. Well, that was at the beginning where they announced them. But I thought that the athletes would come in after, like they would do some kind of performance. I mean, I don't know what happened to the creative coordinator because there was no creativity in that. The best part was when they did Tom Cruise coming in. That was the best part.
Yeah.
And then from there, they went to Long Beach and had Snoop Dogg
and Dr.
Dre and all the band. Who was the name of the band?
It was Red Hot Chili Peppers and Billie Eilish.
Yes, I love Billie Eilish.
Yes.
That was the best part of the whole closing ceremony.
Yes.
Because remember in the past, we had China, UK, Greece. They all did some kind of performance in the closing ceremony. But the French didn't do anything. And when the person was speaking in the stadium, they didn't even translate that. So we couldn't even understand what they were saying. But they translated
the channel
the
that
songs.
I was watching, they did do it, but he was like, he was speaking French so fast, and it was flashing. So it was, if you didn't record it, you missed it.
You missed it. But that's what I enjoyed. And you know what? I'm so looking forward to the next Summer Games. I really am.
Yeah.
Because hopefully Snoop Dogg will be lighting the torch.
Well, I know Snoop is all over it.
He's
He's like an ambassador after what he did.
Well, what about Flavor
Oh,
Flav?
both of them. I mean, just amazing, because one of the things two things. Number one, I was a little disappointed in the breakdancing contest.
Oh, that was terrible.
So the girls, they're playing techno music for a B-girl to dance and to break. There were no beats. There was nothing. And I don't know why somebody didn't say, this is not breaking music, but they did it. The American girl was out it so fast, and I was like, no, that's not right. It was just really bad.
Well, the Australian girl was like, it was a joke what the Australian lady did.
Yeah.
But I found out that her and her husband were the ones that are trying to push to get that into the Olympics.
Right.
And then they finally did get into the Olympics, and her husband was on the panel, so
Right.
he just decided to let her in.
Right.
And I didn't watch the whole thing. I just saw clips of it. I was laughing the whole time. I'm like,
Yeah.
what kind of mockery is this?
And if you are going to have breakdancing in the Olympics and people are still alive, because my husband, he can twirl on the floor and he's old. Why would you not have judges from the Bronx of New York to be on the panel? The people on the panel didn't look like they knew what they were looking at.
Yeah, and then isn't there specific criteria?
Absolutely. And Victor from the United States, his grandfather, uncles, fathers, that is all through that child's life. He understood. They kept saying, oh, he's going short. When you do the move and it's a gotcha move, you stop. You don't just keep going because, I got 20 seconds. No. So that wasn't good. It was just horrible.
Yeah, it was
Horrible.
kind of, yeah. But the guy that won from Canada was very good.
He was very good.
Was.
And I give him his props. He was very good. I just think that Victor should have been, because he did authentic breaking, he was higher. I think he should have been a silver. The guy from Canada, hands down, his moves were amazing. And so that was a little like, And the other thing, let's go back to gymnastics. So Jordan, okay, she does her routine. Jordan gets swept up in the motions of the game. And she's like, I don't know, because her health, if she's going to be able to do 2028. So she increases the difficulty of her routine, her floor routine. They give her a low score. Our judge from the United States goes over and says, wait a minute. Her degree of difficulty is higher. You have to look at that. 45 seconds in. You only have 60 seconds to do this. So they go, they tell them, and they're taking their sweet time. They go back 55 seconds because you have 1 minute in order to file a grievance. So they do that. Well, come to find out, because she had the medal, they took the medal away. One of the gentlemen that's on there, because Ana Barbosu of Romania is going between the two girls, between Ana and between Jordan. So they just came out and they said this morning that one of the judges, Dr. Hamid Gauravi, yes, he is linked on the website, the Romania website, as providing support for multiple legal cases in which he has represented Romania in arbitration. He should be disqualified. His vote should not count. I think they should give Anna and Jordan a bronze medal,
yes,
and tell them to have a great life. Flavor Flav, the reason I just remembered this, Flavor Flav has created a bronze clock to give Jordan so that she will have her bronze medal. No matter what happens with this, it's not going to just die, because everybody is upset that the judges have been compromised like that. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to
And I don't understand, because they said it could take years before they come to a decision.
Yes.
And I don't understand why so many years.
Yeah,
what is
because
the
all
reason
you
for
have
that?
to do is look at it.
Yeah.
Well, see, first they said, "Oh, you didn't make it in time," and then they proved
They did make it in time.
They did it
55,
twice.
Yeah.
They first at 45. I mean,
Yes.
you know how hard it is to find somebody and say I make a complaint and do all that in 45 seconds.
Yes.
So that was, to me, was a part of the Olympics that I was like, okay, that wasn't very nice. That wasn't nice. One of the things that I was just so inspired, and it touched my heart, was in previous years when you won or you did a routine and you were in China, you only touched the China girls. Here, Jamaica was hugging USA, who was hugging China, who was hugging Japan. All of the competitions, I mean, even in the water, the girls would hug each other. That should make everybody wake up and realize racism is just toxic, and we have to let it go. Because if all of our children can compete and live together for 11 days, there's hope.
Exactly.
There's hope.
Exactly. I love
So-
that. I love that. And on the note, quickly, the breakdancing, they cut that from the Olympics.
Yes, they're going to
So-
do flag football and some kind of softball thing. However, I think if we all kind of complain a little bit, they'll bring it back. Because when I saw Snoop and Dr. Dre on the beach, and then they did the explosion in the end of the rings with the colors, I was like, okay, France, you did a great job. I'm taking nothing from you. However, LA, get ready, because we are going to rock 2028.
It's going to be amazing.
Yes.
And the opening and closing ceremony are going to be amazing.
Yes.
I can now, I
Yes.
foresee that. to
With
be.
all the star power, because watching Tom descend into the stadium was amazing. So
That was pretty cool.
that was pretty
And
cool.
everybody knew Tom, so that was a
Yes, and
big,
everybody
nice thing,
loved
yes.
Tom, so that was really good. Oh, one thing I just remembered also, they have finally announced who is going to take over for Katy Perry and American Idol.
Oh, who is it?
Carrie Underwood,
Carrie?
one of the.
Oh my!
She's an American
See,
Idol.
I was trying to rack my brain as to who could take over and
Yes.
be just as good.
Yes,
But I'm thinking there's no one like Katy Perry
right.
that could be like her, who's like a mama,
Yes.
and also quirky like her.
Yes.
You cannot have someone exactly like her.
Yes.
But the next best thing is Carrie Underwood. Oh,
and
she's
she doesn't.
amazing.
And Carrie has said many times, "I can't lie. I can't
And
lie."
she's been on American Idol.
Yes.
She was an idol.
She was an idol, and she won
and her
against
career
Bo.
is so explosive.
Yes.
So, I like that. I
Yes.
love it.
So
I love it. I'm
I just
so excited.
that just came up. So
oh,
this will
I'm
be a
glad you
good.
said that
This
because
will
I
be a
didn't
good
know.
reason for us to watch it and check it out. Weather. The weather around the world.
It's still disastrous.
We have got to get the people in all of our governments all around the world to stop saying it's just the weather and realize that climate control is a real situation.
We have to have everyone united on the same decision that this is global warming. There's
Yes.
no way that it's been probably at least even pre-pandemic. Remember back in the days when Houston was flooded and everything,
Yes.
and Hurricane Katrina.
Yes.
It started way back from there.
Yeah.
That global warming started
where
affecting.
dams were being overrun by water, and they would be like, "Oh, it's because the dams are old." No, we now know better. And so, like here in California, we're still having the wildfires, and we had probably 2 or 3 days where the weather got a little cool and the winds died down, so the firemen were able to, they're battling 400 plus thousand acres burning, so they're still working on that. In LA, we had earthquake. We haven't had earthquakes for a while, so that
Right.
resensitized all of us. Okay, you got to be earthquake prepared and know about that. The latest storm that's hitting the East Coast is called Ernesto, and it's out in the ocean right now, and it's hitting Puerto Rico pretty hard. Now, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and the British Virgin Islands. The winds are around 74 miles per hour, and it's actually approaching Bermuda, which it should hit around 3 a.m. on Saturday morning. By the time it gets to Bermuda, it's going to go from a tropical storm to a hurricane. And then they show how it could impact the whole East Coast, all the way from Florida up to through New York, Maine, etc. So we have all this going on. And in Greece, we have, they're experiencing wildfires also. 80-foot flames are approaching Athens. They're doing forced massive evacuations, and it's engulfed about 40 square miles. This is because it's so dry. If it was a normal season where we had rain, it wouldn't be so dry. That's why California, when we get a fire, it just takes off because it's so dry.
And now we don't have normal seasons anymore, because
No.
like if you want to like plan your vacation somewhere, usually you ask, you know, Siri or Google, what is the average temperature or what is the weather there. Now you can go and you would not even know what's going to happen when you're on vacation.
Exactly.
It's kind of scary
Exactly.
to think that, okay, in the past you could predict, okay, I'm going to have a hurricane in
Right.
Florida at this time, but hurricanes are coming earlier and
Or
earlier.
like now, we don't normally
Yeah.
have them this early. They're a few months ahead of the norm.
Right, right.
I tell you, exciting and scary times. And we just have to keep pushing to all of our governments for better, conscious people in office. It can't be who is the meanest, who says the most, who talks the most. It has to be fact driven.
Yes,
That's important.
yes, exactly.
So thank you, as always, for joining us for our chat. My name's Gloria Webb Williams. My company is Ancient Stones Nurturing Natural. I'm an all-natural mineral makeup manufacturer right here in Santa Clara, California. And my tip of the day is simply at its best, a natural makeup routine is simple and stress-free. I have ladies who are like, I don't know where to put stuff. I don't know what to do. Just keep it simple. You don't always have to, in the words of a friend of mine, she calls it beat her face, and that's when she puts on everything. She does the contouring and all that.
That takes way too long.
Way too long. But it's something that she does, like if she's going to go somewhere special. Every day, though, you can just put a bronzer on, which will give you just a little natural hue to your skin. You don't have to put on eyeshadows and all of that, because it just makes you look healthy. And that's what I'm all about in my makeup products, is healthy. Healthy is what's best. And minimal, a little bit will give you a whole lot. You don't have to put a whole lot on to get a whole lot. Because my philosophy is when you put all that on, you got to take all that off.
Exactly.
So keep it simple. That's my approach for this time. And I hope that we have shared something to just get you inspired to keep it simple and just do a little makeup, something that will have natural SPF qualities to it to protect and shield your skin, because as we just shared with you, the weather patterns are very different than normal. Gloria Webb Williams, Ancient Stones Nurturing Natural.
Thank you. And I'm Rosetta Chow, Simply Health, your certified health coach and educator and speaker. And my health tips today, I'm going to be talking about sugar and sugar substitutes. And we know that sugar is inflammatory to our body. So lately, well, it hasn't been lately, it's been in the last 15 years that people have been trying to find alternatives, a healthier alternative to sugar substitutes. And I'm going to break it down for you really quickly now. So the best sugar substitutes are there. They could always be improved, but these are the ones that are better for you than white sugar, because white sugar really has no nutritional benefits to the body. So we have to be careful of high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oils. What else is sugar? Dextrose. Anything ending in OSE is sugar.
Wow.
So OS means it's sugar. So even a lot of man-made sugar substitutes are not good for us, like maltitol, sucralose. Those maltitol gives you bad side effects like gas and diarrhea, which is really bad. So here are the ones that I suggest. Stevia is the tea leaves,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good natural substitute. But be careful, because a lot of stevia has a mixture in it. And I've seen packets with dextrose in it, which I don't know why, or erythritol. I don't know why they just use straight stevia in the packets, the granulated packets. But you can do the liquid stevia. But I haven't tried it since the long time ago, because my mom gave me stevia, and the liquid stevia had a bad aftertaste.
Okay.
So I said no more. The sugars, the granulated sugars, are okay. Then you have monk fruit. I prefer monk fruit on top of everything.
That's my favorite. That's my go-to.
Yeah, monk fruit is, and I like monk fruit because it's a 1-to-1 replacement. So if you're baking, it's 1-to-1. Stevia is not 1-to-1, it's way sweeter. So you put 3/4 of stevia to 2 teaspoons of sugar. So it's much sweeter than regular sugar. But again, monk fruit, they always have a filler, mix it with erythritol.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been trying to find just straight monk fruit.
Right.
So I'm going to try and find a company that does straight monk fruit, but I bet you it's going to be very expensive.
Yeah.
Which I don't really like. And but monk fruit is good because it has no negative effects on your sugar or your hormones or your digestive system, which is good.
Good. Very good.
Then we have agave. A lot of people say agave is great for you, but I'm going to say don't take agave, because it is more fructose than sugar. Then we have the coconut sugar, which is great. I love coconut sugar. It's lower in the glycemic index. It won't raise your blood sugar as much. And it's actually coconut sugar, like coconut oil, coconut stuff, is healthier and has nutrients, which I like.
Okay.
Then we have maple syrup and honey. You want raw honey. Maple syrup, you want the darker maple syrup. So those are some of your few substitutes that you can have instead of clear, just plain white sugar. So there you have it. Rosetta Chow, Simply Health, your health matters.
Wow. I hope you listen to what she just said. Stop it, rewind it, and listen to it again. I have had people tell me that white sugar is just as addictive as cocaine. And I mean, just think about, just let that roll around your mind. It's not, because you'll say, I don't want sugar, but you can't stop yourself. She's giving you some alternatives that will help you without making you sick. So I hope you will check her out.
And one quick note, cancer cells feed off sugar. So that's one of the things it feeds off. So if you starve the cancer cells of sugar, then what happens?
Yeah.
Less risk.
And that's something that's going around right now, because President Biden is trying to come up with a bill that will help with cancerous research, because he lost his son Beau, and he is trying to do everything he can. And when you get outside the United States of America, the cancer ratio is much lower than it is here. The only common thing is food. It's got to be something that's going on.
It's a lot of all the crappy ingredients we put in our food in America. And what is the common cause of it? And the reason is money. We want people addicted to our food, so they buy more of the product and they can sell more and make more money.
And we're going to figure out how to have good, healthy food and take all the greed. And it's like, you just sit there with all your greed, and we're going to go the healthy route. Because I really believe in my heart, if people really understood, every time you eat a Big Mac or a fast food of any type, you are changing the internal digestion, because it's not like eating
You're
real
changing
food.
Your gut.
Yes, your gut flora.
Your gut flora, yes.
That's
your
what you're
microbiome,
changing.
yes, you are. And everything stems from your gut.
Yes. I know we went a little over today, but we had so much to share, so much to talk about. We want you to know we're grateful that you hung out with us, and hopefully you went to the end and you got to hear everything we had to share today.
And we hope that you enjoyed everything that we shared today.
Yes.
And we'd love for you to comment and join in our conversations. And if
Yes.
you liked our chat, we would love for you to hit the thumb icon.
Yes.
Please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell notification so you're the first to be notified when our chats are ready to be seen.
Yes.
We love doing these chats and we hope you've enjoyed it. And we are Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea.
And remember to always keep smiling.
Till next time.
Bye.